Welcome to Movement for Sustainable Wellness. Today's class is going to feel good. We're going to be seated. So come on over and join us when you can. Allowing your knees and feet to be on the ground. You can widen your knees a little bit so there's plenty of space for your belly to breathe. Stretching yourself down onto the mat, bringing your forehead onto the mat, allowing your hips and heels to sink towards the ground. We're here to breathe. So take a deep breath in through the nose, feel it fill up the back of the lungs. And as you exhale, let your hands and your feet press down towards the ground, flattening your low back towards your feet. Breathing in fully, feeling the lungs expand to the side. Letting the exhales melt you a little flatter to the mat. So these opening breaths in child's pose are a great opportunity to find stillness if it is available to you. And if there's any hesitation or inability to be still, then you can rock your forehead side to side. You could even shift your gaze in one direction for a couple breaths before trying on the other direction. The point is to create a gentle compression on the forehead, to stretch the side body, the shoulders, and to trap some blood in the feet and knees. So we're here for about 3 more breaths. Allow these breaths to initiate the yogic practice this morning. Inhaling deeply through the nose, filling up the body fully. Letting the exhale flatten you, relax you, sink you down into the ground a little bit more. And it is safe to have a gentle pressure on the low back here. There's a kid's posture called lizard on a rock, where the child sits onto the low back and just lounges over you. So if you have little ones in your world, you might play with that posture. Find your full exhale, let it all out. And then on your inhale, meet me in a tabletop shape. Knees hip width apart, hands just below the shoulders, elbows in line with the wrists. Taking that opening meditative breath work here, you're going to inhale, drop your belly button, open your throat. And as you exhale, round, reverse that gesture entirely, forehead drawing towards the pelvis. Notice how much you can get the body to change here. Inhaling cow. Exhaling cat. One more classic dropping of the belly, opening of the throat. Rounding cat-like. Neutralize the spine. Take your right hand into the air and stretch it out in front of you. Wrist circles in each direction, 3 times each way. Noticing the weight on your grounded left hand, distributing it equally across all 5 fingers, not dumping into the heel of the hand. Settle the right hand down. Find that good integrity in the hand and stretch your left wrist in front of you to rotate 3 times in each direction, being mindful of the weight on the grounded hand. Perfect. Tuck toes behind you so that you can open the bottom of your foot, just pushing back slightly. You might even come into a traditional fire toes position if it feels better. Just opening the bottom of the foot. So even your pinky toe is on the ground if you can get it there, opening the middle of the foot. Sometimes we carry tension in the bottom of the feet, and at the start of our class, we just want to open the foot so that it is calm. From our tabletop shape, we'll tuck our toes, lift our hips, and find our first downward facing dog of the day. Your body is a large triangle, and you can shake, yes, 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 I'm awesome. Seeing how you can breathe in this shape 2 or 3 more times. Nice. So walk your feet towards your hands. You're in a standing fold here, just allowing your face to come down towards your shins. Your feet can be a couple inches apart. You're gonna halfway lift, bringing your head in line with your hips. Halfway lift, pushing your thighs as you roll your shoulders behind you. Exhale, fold. Allowing space to come between your crown and your neck and your shoulders in the middle back, your middle back and your low back. Feeling that beautiful gravity towards your toes. Halfway lift again, big inhale there, stretching the crown of the head out from your hips like a perfect right angle. Exhale, fold, try to touch your smiling face towards your legs, and halfway lift one more time. Awesome. So take your hands down in front of you, gentle fingertips touching, and you'll step your right foot back behind you. Feel that lovely stretch in the calf as you just drop your heel behind you. 2 breaths here, slow and steady today, unlocking tension in the lower body. Inhale, bring your both feet stepping back together, relax your neck, make sure you're not carrying any tension in your jaw, and step your left foot behind you. Again, opening the calf, breathing steadily here, super gentle weight on your fingertips. Soft jaw, steady breath. Good. Instead of bringing our feet together, we'll take our right foot back to meet the left. We're in a downward facing dog again. And you're gonna look towards your hands, shift your weight so that you're in a plank shape instead. Elbows and wrists in line, standing in a push-up here. Drop your knees, your chest, and your chin. So there are 3 points of contact. Your tummy is not touching. Knees, chest, chin, hands underneath the shoulders. When you're in this position, you're creating a very healthy compression for your body. So breathe here for another minute. Not full minute, of course, just another moment. And when we come out of this, we roll the shoulders behind us, press our belly onto the ground, and sit up like a snake, cobra. Good. Sit back onto your knees, hands onto your thighs. We're gonna count 1 breath for fingertips. Inhaling to begin. 1 breath for fingertips. Second fingertip, second breath. Let it all out. And even if you can't close your eyes during this operation, you can focus on the breath. Trying to lengthen the breath so that you've sincerely slowed down by the time you get to your second hand. Maintaining the pressure of the fingertips throughout the whole breath. And even if you've lost track of your breath, you can finish strong with the ring finger and the pinky. 1 breath per fingertip. Full exhale, full inhale. Beautiful work. Placing hands at your heart. Thank whatever brought you to the mat today, this body that's able to play and move. So we're going to work in a tabletop initially. A nice cross-body extension, left arm, right foot, just seeing how we can balance here. If we ever feel wobbly, it's because the knee is not underneath the hip. So make sure that you're keeping the tabletop shape. As you exhale, return. Now left hand, right foot this time. Stretching as you inhale out, exhaling as you put it down. Moving 1 breath per movement. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, return. Keeping the space between the knees. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, return. Last set. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, return. Make sure your gaze moves with you out in front during the extension and return. Tabletop cat. Exhale it out. Inhale, cow. Beautiful work. Tuck 10 toes behind you and meet me back in fire toes, opening the bottom of the foot. So we want to feel really good in our lower body today, and we're going to move through all of the shapes that stretch around the hip flexor and the low back, including pigeon, shoelace, And to start with, low lunge. So coming from your downward facing dog, imagine your wiggling tail into the air. We'll take our right foot into the air, stretching it up as high as it comes behind you, ankle circle in each direction. Bend the knee to place it between your hand and drop the back knee behind you, relaxing the toes. Lifting upright, we're in our low lunge shape, shining the heart forward. So imagine a beautiful shield or design that's reflecting from your heart space out in front of you, maybe up to the sunshine, if you are able to practice outdoors, just enjoying the space where you're at. So stretching fingertips, opening the chest, pushing your hips forward the whole time. Moving pretty slowly here so that we can get good breath, 2 or 3 breaths in each shape. Frame the front foot, tuck the back toes, and return to downward facing dog. A playful moment. So yes, 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 or wag a tail. When you're ready, lift your inhale, left leg nice and high. Ankle circle in each direction to warm up that joint. And then step the foot between the hands, dropping the back leg, relaxing the toes. To inhale, stretching upright, low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Imagining a shield or a shape or a color shining from your heart upward and forward. Breathing steadily here, at least 2 deep breaths in each shape. Reframe the hands around the foot, tuck the back toe, and find downward facing dog. From our downward facing dog, look forward, take your plank, and just balance here, pushing the ground away. If you need to come onto your knees, that's an appropriate modification. What we want to play with here is side plank. So from your toes, you might use just your right hand, rotating onto the pinky edge of your right foot. Stretch your left arm up, look overhead, lift your hips the whole time. This is a full Vashisthasana side plank. So reset onto 10 toes, bringing your hand back down to the ground. And let's try the left side. Left pinky edge, pushing your weight directly in line. Wrist, elbow, shoulder, shoulder, elbow, wrist. Lifting your hips. Vashisthasana side plank. Exhale. Drop your knees. Find your 8-limbed pose, chin, chest, knees, and come through cobra. Beautiful. So that was the medium level of Vashisthasana side plank. I'll demonstrate a way to make it more accessible and a way to level it up. So feel free to play here, moving at your own tempo while watching the video as well. Modified Vashisthasana is on our knees or on our forearms. You can choose either. From your knees, it's quite simple. You're just using the side of your knee, still lifting your hip as much as you can. On your forearms, you might be able to use the pinky edge of your foot again. No matter what modification you're taking, you want to make sure that you have a really nice foundation from your arms so that you don't have any weird angles. You want the joints to stack to naturally support you. The way of leveling up this practice is to raise your leg, creating more of a side star and coming through to both sides, just testing what's possible for your body. Always get your 8-limbed pose, meet back through cobra, and let's find downward facing dog. Good work today, everybody. Hopefully this is an accessible practice for you. Inhale, look towards your hands. Walk your feet there. Halfway lift, crown of the head stretching from the hips. Fold, smiling face towards your shins. Halfway lift again. Exhale, fold. Trying to make these movements count. Inhale, push the shins or thighs away, roll the shoulders behind you. Crown of the head is stretching out, out, out. Let the fingertips softly graze the mat. Step your right foot back behind you, drop the knee. Open Anjaneyasana, big inhale. Exhale, round over that front leg. Tuck the back toe. So you're standing now, and then walk the foot towards the right hand. You're coming into a pigeon shape from kind of an awkward spot. Hopefully you were able to find pigeon from there. This is a nice opening on the underside of the glute. It really pulls into the hamstrings, which should feel pretty good today. So make sure that your hips are square, that your back thigh is on the mat. Try to walk it onto the mat so much that your perineum will start to touch. And lift the chest up, trying to imagine a straight line into the ground from the top of your head through your body. Then we can get into a sleeping pigeon. Settle it down, forehead towards the mat, allowing your hands and face to settle in. 3 exhales here. This entry point into pigeon does lend itself to really deeply target the hamstrings and the glutes. So hopefully you're feeling that here. Take one more round of breath. And find your way to upright pigeon. Bending the back leg just to see what's possible, what comes up when you do bend it. If you are able to bend it and hold it, you can sweep one arm around to touch, sweeping the other arm to touch, eventually reaching for the leg with one or both arms over time. Turning to the open hip, you can eventually place the foot into your elbow crease, which will create a nice bind. That also increases the stretch on the hamstring, so you might want to hang here for a moment, exploring that. No rush to move on, and when we do, it'll be through downward facing dog, so meet us there. Pedaling left and right, breathing happily, no rush. Step your left foot forward and right foot forward, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. Good. Fingertips graze the mat. Left foot steps forward, backwards this time. And drop the knee, open Anjaneyasana. Big inhale. Breathing steadily here. Let the hands frame the front foot. Tuck the back toe so you're lifted in a high lunge. And then walk the front foot towards the left hand, allowing your knee to drop down as you come into that really deep pigeon expression on the other side. Using the time at the beginning just to find the shape, making sure the back thigh is on the mat. You might walk it further away so that the perineum touches the mat in time. Getting the most benefit for the hips in an upright position. We'll settle down for sleeping pigeon. 3 rounds of breath here. Targeting the hamstrings in this particular way of entering pigeon. You'll sit upright to get a little bit more action by lifting the back leg, bending at the knee. Noticing an asymmetry, what comes up when you take that action. If you can hold it there, then you'll sweep around to touch with each hand. Over time, option to grab with both hands. And turning towards the open hip, you have the option to place the foot in your elbow crease, which is going to really activate the quadriceps. So you might want to play here for a little while longer, and there's plenty of time to do so. When you do come out, tuck your toes and let's meet in downward facing dog. Beautiful work. Shift forward with an inhale, plank, lower knees, chest, chin, 8-limbed pose. Open with an inhale, cobra. And push back, child's pose. Taking a little break in our practice today. Let it out through an open mouth if you've developed any heat. And feel the compression of your forehead on the mat. It's where we started the sequence, and we've already moved a lot of fresh oxygenated blood through the body. So just settle in here with that forehead compression, about 3 more breaths longer. And before leaving this shape, go ahead and take both hands in the direction of the left. So walking both hands next to each other as far to the side of the left as you can while keeping that forward motion in the belly and in the face. You want to make sure you're still touching the ground, that you're not lifting off the ground. You're just stretching one side of the body, gently compressing the other. Walk back through the center and take your fingertips to the right. Again, pressing as far to the right as you can while keeping integrity in the belly and the hips. You're still close to the ground. And we stretch the side body and the low back because they are what respond to tension in the legs, especially in the hips. So from our tabletop position, meeting there whenever you're ready, take an inhale, drop your belly, and round your spine as you exhale. Really good work. A strong core is what helps us stay flexible in the spine. So left arm will stretch out, right arm will stretch out, and we'll connect them with the exhale, elbow and knee. Inhale, stretch it out. Exhale, make the connection. Be sure to keep elbow, wrist, and shoulder in line so that you're protecting your body and gaining that core strength. Just 2 more crunches here. Good work. From the extension, bend the back leg, sweep to touch, and kick, kick, kick into the air. Again, keeping hips stacked next to one another, keeping the grounded arms steady. Release with an inhale, and find yourself in tabletop, minding the breath. Same work on the other side. Take 1 more breath of rest. So left arm, right foot, stretching out in opposite directions, crunching through the exhale. 5 together, so we have 3 more here. Connect and extend. Keep the integrity in the grounded arm. Last one. Come out of this work, stretching, bending the back leg, reaching to touch, finding a peak asana, kick, kick, kick into the air. And when you reset, extend and return to tabletop. Breathe. Good. From here, your right knee is going to come center, and you'll pick up your left knee so that the right foot can shine out towards the right hand. Sorry. Yes, left hand. Tuck the left knee behind it and open the foot as well so that you can come sitting down. It's a simple shoelace pose. If you need to get into it in a different way, I'll turn around so that you can see the alignment, knee on top of knee. And timing is so important in this one. So notice your breath as you inhale deeply here. Arms come overhead and through heart center. That's the beginning. 2 more like that. Inhale, sweeping, feeling a connection point in your hips, sitting steadily between your feet. Nice. Just warming up the energy beside the body. So the emphasis in this posture is in forward folding. Make sure your hips are connected and then go for it. Exhaling here, beginning your count of 5 breaths. Maybe bringing your forehead all the way to your knee. Allowing your fists to stack if that's not possible today. Your breath is the sincere guide in your practice and one of the easiest ways to maintain timing. So find your next exhale and go ahead and lift back upward. We'll move gently side to side, allowing the elbow to bend, keeping both hips anchored as you take the side stretch. Inhale up through the center, same thing on the other side, staying very anchored, especially through the opening hip. So now that we've taken one slowly in each direction, it's up to you how quickly you might take the next 2 sets. Just make sure that your hips are staying anchored and you're feeling a beautiful side body extension, maybe rolling your chest even slightly upward to get the most benefit for the side body. Nice. If you have a tingling sensation in your feet or any tension in the legs, that's normal. Go ahead and shift your weight backwards, unraveling your legs to windshield wiper by drawing your knees towards your opposite ankle. and the opposite knee just outward. Good stuff. We'll come back into tabletop so that you can perfect that entry point. We take our left knee towards the center this time, lifting the right knee so that the left foot can come out towards the right hand. And then you'll stack the right knee behind that first knee, opening your feet enough to be able to sit between your feet. If you cannot sit between your feet, you're sitting on your ankles, then you're gonna need to take a half shoelace instead, and it's a beautiful modification, not to worry. So from this shape, settle in, make sure you've got your knees stacked and you're sitting upright. 3 opening breaths, extending your fingers through the air beside you and centering them through the body. 2 more like that, just opening and warming the energy around us. Letting the lower body adjust to this twisted shape. The emphasis, of course, being on the fold. So anchor through the hips, exhale into it. As you find this point of stillness, count 5 breaths here. Following your exhale, let it all out. The inhale can bring you back upright, where we'll move from side to side, keeping hips anchored the whole time, stretching overhead, using the inhale to take yourself to the other side, stretching away from anchored hips. Now that you've taken a pretty slow motion movement in each direction, it's up to you whether you'll move once or twice more, how fast that might look. Just make sure that you're keeping the hips anchored, maybe gently rolling your chest upright to get the most out of the posture. Taking a moment through the middle, whether you have tingling sensations or any tension in the lower body, just listening. Shift your weight backwards, unravel your legs, and windshield wiper when you're ready. Just taking knee to opposite ankle, letting the open knee drop outward. Nice work. So we'll take a wide-legged straddle here. And if you have a little person in your life, they can actually put their legs on your thigh or on your shin. Don't put it on your kneecap, that's a little dangerous. And you can assist each other in kind of seesawing forward and backwards. If you don't have a partner, you're just listening to the tension in the inner thigh, seeing how it feels to bounce a little bit into this shape, right? And when you find your way into a depth that you like, you can reach for your ankles to help you stay there. If you have sensitivity in your sciatic nerve, then you might want to do this on a pillow if you're going to stay in this shape much longer. Draw the crown of your head out and imagine ultimately many weeks, many months, many years into practice that your chest touches the floor between your legs. It's important that you're able to visualize this because if you can't imagine it, it will never happen. One day, your chest will be flat on the ground, your crown of the head will be beyond the toes, and your hands will be stretching out flat beside you. For now, though, go ahead and lift up, draw the soles of your feet together, and we'll take a really wide butterfly shape. Where same idea, you're just gonna come in and try to draw your face towards your feet, flattening your low back. We're here for 3 exhales. With an inhale, flatten your back before lifting. So you're just drawing the crown of your head out, your chin and chest out. Notice what happens in the low back in that shape. You might want to hold here and linger if it feels really good. Only when you're ready, we'll move on to some half butterfly postures. So your right foot is nice and tightly touching your inner thigh while your left leg is out extended. Toes can flex. Stretch your arms up and fold through the center line initially, taking 2 exhales there. Crown of the head drawing out towards the space in front of you, both hips anchored behind you. Last exhale here. So that when you stretch up, you can shift your shoulders and your torso to be facing the outstretched leg and surrender again. For 3 breaths, reaching behind the ankle, behind the kneecap, beyond the foot, depending on how your body feels today. Breathing steadily. The breath is the most important part of the practice. So tuck your chin, round yourself upwards, and swap legs. This time letting your left foot touch your thigh and your right foot flex out, facing you. Inhale, stretch up and squarely fold through the center. Two more rounds of breath here, letting the crown of the head stretch out to the space in front of you. Following your exhale here, the inhale will lift you upright as you square your shoulders towards the outstretched leg and surrender again for 3 nourishing breaths, finding a point of grip either around the ankle, behind the kneecap, or beyond the foot. Beautiful work. Tucking the chin, rounding upward. We'll close the shape by coming back into our tabletop. So notice the way in which your body feels a little different after the deep stretches we've done. Use an exhale to round through cat and an inhale to open through cow. Exhale, round cat. Inhale, cow. Sit your hips onto your heels. Third and final moment in child's pose today. Returning back to your intention, being grateful for the space and time you had. Allowing your hands to draw towards your face, making the shape a little bit more meditative. Take a breath or two, honoring what lies between your thumbs. And third expression, sliding your hands back, palms up beside the feet. Just like a little rock on the ground. This is a nice place to begin to close our practice. So tuck the chin, round your body upwards, and let's kick our legs out in front of us, coming to the middle of the mat so that we can lay down. Head, neck, and shoulders resting onto the mat, feet just beyond the bottom. Roll the shoulders underneath you, press through the feet, lift the hips into the air, a modified bridge shape. Exhale, lower. Taking that gesture 5 times. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift, squeezing the inner thigh as you do so, lifting the hips as high as possible. Exhale, lower, just 2 more. Lengthening the low back, really flattening the spine completely. Good work. So draw the knees into the chest, rock side to side on your kidneys. Thinking about this fist-sized bean-shaped organ that helps filter all the fluids in your body. Smile that your body is so wise and strong and smart. And keep your right knee close as you let your left leg extend out. All 10 fingers reach around the kneecap to pull the kneecap towards your armpit. That pinching sensation in your hip is what you want. Soften your jaw, quiet your mind, and pull for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And a little bit tighter to finish it off. You'll smear the knee across the body, coming into a gentle twist. From this twist, you can make your legs like roots, or you can extend your leg towards your hand. Whichever you do, make sure that your shoulders are both on the ground and that you're looking away from the working leg. We take twists towards the end of our practice to remove any emotion from the spine, to balance out the energy on the left and right side of the spine. So when you come back, hips onto the mat, keep your working leg bent so that it can find a fallen tree shape. Your arms become like branches, free to stretch out beside you. Heel of the foot will stay close to the ground as it slides out. Take a full body stretch and then draw your knees into your chest again. This time bringing your forehead towards your knee, squeezing everything into a tight little ball. Relax your head, neck, and shoulders back to the mat. Extend the right leg and keep all 10 fingers around your left leg, pulling your left leg towards your armpit, creating a pinching sensation in the hip. Pull, 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 pull. Even interlacing the fingers all the way down to the webbing. Take a couple more deep breaths here. It's 5 rounds of breath minimum. Smearing the knee across the body when you are ready to come into a gentle twist. Option to ravel your legs like roots or extend the leg out to your hand. Whichever variation you choose, make sure both shoulders are pressed onto the mat and that you're looking away from your leg. Excuse me. When you come out of your twist, keep the leg bent so that you can find your fallen tree. Arms like branches, free to breathe here for at least 3 breaths. My throat, sorry. Heel close to the ground as it slides out behind you. Take a full body stretch. I'm so sorry, I'm coughing. You listen to your breath. To settle into our final relaxation. On your own. Heels root down, toes flop out. As you feel yourself held in the right place at the right time for just a couple minutes of relaxation. Accepting whatever status of relaxation you have achieved as more than good enough already. Let yourself take 2 more exhales here, letting go. Using that exhale as an opportunity to roll on to one side and come sitting upright when you are ready to close practice. Yoga meets us where we're at. So always honor your capacity today and your breath as what guides you through the practice. We'll close with a healing sound of Om, A-O-M. So inhale to feel that sound now. The breath that follows the sound is just as sacred as the sound itself. If you receive benefit from the practice, please do let us know. Thank you, Karen and Scarlett, for practicing with me.